Hello, Bruce.
Hello, Simon.
How are you today?
I'm still recovering, I'm afraid, from the lurgy that I had recently.
No way. 3 episodes in a row.
I know. Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem at all. I'm sure we're all just feeling sorry for you.
Oh, that's very sweet.
And when I say we all, I mean the Factoralites, the lovely folk gathered around their wireless listening to this podcast each week.
Do you think they're gathered around a wireless?
I'd like to think so. They're probably, walking the dog, taking a break from work. Earpods in, trying to get to sleep at night in their bed.
Yeah.
All sorts.
Oh, the other thing is, of course, well, given what this subject is, perhaps we should do the entire episode like this.
Oh, what a wonderful idea.
So today we're going to be talking to you on this Factoraly, which is a thing that we do which tells people interesting facts.
Yes, by the use of our beautiful, soothing, calming voices.
That's right. And we tell people about things like, for example, beds.
Beds. That's what we're going to do today. We won't maintain this level of calm because there is a very good chance you might fall asleep whilst listening to us.
Well, people do anyway, I've heard.
So beds. We're talking about beds.
We are. Do you have a bed?
I do have a bed, thank you.
Yes,
do you
too.
have a bed?
I do. I have a very nice bed.
Excellent.
I have a bed that has thousands and thousands of springs in it, and it's very supportive and helpful, and it looks after me when I'm feeling miserable.
Grand. Sounds very encouraging.
Oh yes, no, it's a good bed.
I have a reasonably large bed. Bruce and I are both 6'2"-ish. So tall people like us need slightly more spacious beds than some others might, because a single bed is shorter as well as narrower.
Yes, narrower.
And your feet have a tendency to dangle off the end, don't they?
My bed is actually custom made to be longer.
Oh, is it?
And I have had custom-made beds for some time now. I had a brass bed, which had a brass railing at the foot and the head end. So I had to have that made 6 inches longer than usual.
Right, okay.
Otherwise, I'd end up with my feet going through the bars. And then when I turned in the night, I'd end up looking like a corkscrew in the morning.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. Did your bed have a detachable, magical bed knob?
Sadly not. Actually, yes, the bed knob was detachable.
Oh, it was?
It wasn't magical, yes.
Oh, well, not that you know of anyway, you just didn't use it properly.
I never tried. It was a lot of unscrewing to get it off.
So beds, let's start as we usually do with the etymology of the word bed. Bed comes from the Old English word bed, which means bed. Which is very exciting. But the Old English word bed comes from a Proto-Germanic word badja, which means a resting place or a piece of ground. So fairly simple.
Right. But I mean, beds have been around. People have been sleeping on the ground for a while. And then they thought, actually, maybe we should put something down on the ground.
Yes.
To protect us from the hardness
Absolutely.
of the ground.
Yeah, so
there was a mattress.
Yes, of course, yeah.
So mattresses were what? Straw originally?
They've been all sorts of things, really. They've been, sort of going back to prehistoric times. It was just a bunch of leaves and foliage strewn on the floor, and you laid on it, and it was as simple as that. Mattresses have obviously evolved over the years. You get something called a tick mattress.
Yes, ticking.
Ticking. Now, I've only just heard of this whilst doing the research for this. I thought, a tick mattress, that's a good idea. That prevents against ticks. In the sort of bed bug sense, but it doesn't at all. Ticking is a type of material made from sort of tightly woven fabric, sort of a cloth bag, and then that's stuffed with various things. And over the years, that's been stuffed with straw, hay, grass, leaves. Can you imagine laying on a mattress made of leaves? How noisy and rustly that would be. It's been filled with horsehair, wool, feathers, all sorts. Anything to sort of make it a bit softer and more comfy.
And springs.
And then springs, yeah.
Springs came in with the Victorians.
They did, yes.
They're very keen on springs.
Yeah, I was surprised how old they were. I think I sort of remember an advert for a particular mattress company in the 90s talking about this revolutionary, individually isolated pocket-sprung mattress.
Sealy Posturepedic.
Bless you. What?
The Sealy Posturepedic, I think, was the first one with individual springs.
Is that right?
With pocket springs, yeah.
Right, okay. That was invented in 1899.
Wow.
There was some bloke came up with the idea of Springs had been around for a while before then, but the idea of actual individual springs within a pocket within a mattress, 1899. So not quite as modern as we might think.
I mean, but you used not just one mattress. There were people who used to sleep on up to 6 mattresses.
With a P underneath them?
Well, no. I mean, in the early modern period, which is sort of Shakespeare's time, families invested huge amounts of money in beds, and depending on how important you were, you would have between 1 and 6 mattresses. So the Princess and the Pea was actually because the princess would be used to having a lot of stacked mattresses.
Yeah.
Which is why it now makes sense that she'd recognise the very small lump that a pea would make.
Yes, okay.
We talked about how much swords cost in our episode on Vikings. You know, that a sword would cost you as much as a house.
Yeah.
And typically, if you had a really good bed, the bed and the textiles that go with it would account for about a third of your assets.
Really?
Yeah.
Gosh.
I mean, Shakespeare in his will, he famously left his second best bed to his wife.
Yeah, that's a lovely fact, isn't it? I've always thought that sort of sounds like a bit of a snub. You know, she can't have the best one, but she can have the second best one. But apparently, as you say, you know, beds were such an asset, and you could tell how wealthy someone was by virtue of the state of their best bed. And you would sort of often have your best bed on display in a room on the ground floor for people to look at and go, oh, look at their bed. And the best bed was often, usually reserved for guests.
Well, yes. I mean, you'd want to show off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Your wealth and your status to your guests.
So when Shakespeare left Mrs. Shakespeare the second best bed, it was most likely their own marital bed. You know,
yes.
It was a lovely, comforting, familiar item. It's not just she can have the one from the spare room.
Should we go back to the Romans?
Oh, let's go back earlier than that.
Oh, you want to go back earlier? You want to go back 77,000 years?
Yeah, go on. Yeah. That seems like a nice round number. What have you got?
Is that the number you had in mind?
It is, yeah. Well done.
So in South Africa, they have discovered a bed that were actually a mattress. Woven by hand, that's 77,000 years old.
Yeah.
And caves obviously weren't very comfy, but being raised off the floor was a way to escape sort of creepy crawlies. And they would do all sorts of things in bed, because the bed was it's like the sitting area and the sleeping area.
Yeah.
It was where you did everything relaxing.
Yes, it was multi-purpose, wasn't it? Yeah.
And they used to set fire to their bed. I mean, it's unusual to have found a 77,000-year-old bed for several reasons, but one of which is because they used to get all sort of full of your bodily fluids and what have you. And so that when they finished with mattress, they would just set fire to it.
Oh, really? This particular mattress, 77,000 years old from Africa, as you say, it sort of consisted of layers of twigs and leaves. And some of the leaves came from a tree called Cryptocarya woodii, and they had a natural insect repellent in them.
Oh, okay.
To scare away the creepy crawlies, as you said, but specifically to repel mosquitoes, which would carry malaria and various other illnesses.
That makes sense.
The earliest example I found of an actual physical bed, a frame, an item,
yes,
in Malta, there's a 5,000-year-old clay figurine that was discovered, which portrayed a woman sleeping on her side, laying on a raised platform.
Right.
And that's kind of the first reference to an actual physical bed-like object. The oldest actual bed that people have found, 4,500 years old, on Orkney in Scotland.
Which I've seen.
Have you seen? Have you been there?
Yeah, I've been to Skara Brae.
Skara Brae, what a beautiful looking place. A prehistoric village sort of dug into the earth and lined with slabs of stone. And there are several items that are rectangular, roughly the size of a human or two, made out of slabs of stone. And it is quite clearly a physical built-up feature.
A raised platform
to sleep on. So they've been around for a while.
In my research for this, I discovered a fact which isn't about beds.
No way.
Which I love. Do you know what the first ever town was?
Ooh, no.
So the first ever town was a place called Çatalhöyük in Turkey.
Well pronounced.
Catalhoyuk was way back in the Neolithic period, about 10,000 years ago.
Okay.
And that was the first ever town.
Right.
And in that town, they found raised platforms as well.
Really?
Sleeping platforms, yeah.
Oh, perfect. Well, that outranks Skara Brae by a few thousand years, doesn't it?
I will tell you stories about Skara Brae when we finish the podcast.
Grand. For my ears only.
Yeah.
What Bruce got up to in a prehistoric village.
Oh, yes, in Orkney.
And then from there, they've just been a part of every civilization. Tutankhamun's tomb had 6 beds in it.
Mm-hmm.
And they were very bed-looking, instantly recognisable. Wooden frame, headboard, raised off the ground. One of them was gilded in a layer of gold. One of them was a folding bed.
Ooh.
So it's the oldest folding bed that anyone's ever uncovered, about 3,000 years old.
They also sloped Egyptian beds.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. So they were beautifully carved, obviously. But they had animal feet on the bottom of the 4 posts, so they had like those claw feet that you often see on things these days, especially on like baths,
bathtubs.
And they weren't flat, but they bowed in the centre, and they sloped downwards towards the feet.
Right. Okay.
So sometimes they would have like a little footboard at the bottom to stop you from sliding off.
Oh, brilliant! That's great. The Romans had quite a thing about beds. They had lots of different beds for different purposes, each of which have their own individual Latin name, which I won't go into because lots of pronunciations. But they had a bed for sleeping, obviously. They had a bed for reclining and lounging, a bed for studying, a bed specifically for newlyweds. Don't know how that would differ. A bed for eating, and a bed for working, and even a bed for laying a deceased person on at a funeral. They were bed crazy.
Yeah, I mean, my image of a Roman is of somebody sort of fairly large, chewing some grapes that had been fed to him whilst reclining on a bed.
Absolutely.
But if we come along a bit to medieval beds, in fact, this afternoon I'm going to the Victoria and Albert Museum.
Oh.
And in the V&A, there's a bed called the Great Bed of Ware.
Yes. Oh, I love this.
So the Great Bed of Ware is 10 foot long by 11 foot wide.
Yes.
And they reckon it could sleep about, 4 couples. It dates from 1590. It's very ornate and intricately carved. And it was one of those kind of like, you must come and see our bed. Yeah. Or when you're visiting, come and sleep in our great bed.
Yeah. I think one of its first locations was at a coaching inn, wasn't it? I think it sort of went from one inn to another. So it was sort of that size to accommodate lots of travelling guests all at once.
Simultaneously, yeah. Because you wouldn't want to pay for your own bed. You'd want to share.
Of course, absolutely, yeah. And that's on display at the V&A, is it?
Yes, that's on display at the V&A these days.
Brilliant. I found that the Great Bed of Ware is actually mentioned in Twelfth Night, sort of as an indirect reference. Someone was given a sheet of paper and he said it's so big it could cover the Great Bed of Ware.
Yes, that's right.
So it's been famous for a while.
They reckon that beds last longer than marriages.
Really? Okay.
So on average, a bed lasts about 12 and a half years.
Right.
And a marriage on average lasts about 11.4.
Oh, gosh.
So the bed will outlast the marriage.
What a sad statistic.
I know.
Crikey.
So if you're a happier one, there's about 6 billion dust mites in your bed.
Cool. Yep, that instantly makes me more cheerful and not at all itchy. Yeah.
And you spend about 25 years in bed.
Do you really?
Yeah, if you live an average life.
Crikey.
25 years of your life. That's why it's really important to have a good bed.
Yeah. The Great Bed of Ware you mentioned there was a 4-poster.
Yes.
And I can't explain why, but I find 4-poster beds intriguing. Maybe because they're just so popular of a certain era. I love going to National Trust properties and castles and palaces and things like this. And there's always a beautifully ornate 4-poster bed with curtains and rails and all this sort of thing. And
have you ever slept in a 4-poster?
Yes, I have. It was a bit short for me.
They can be a bit short for us tall people, but they're actually designed to be the warmest place in the house.
Yes, okay, yeah.
Because you'd have thick curtains around, so the room could be cold.
Yeah.
But you'd be in this like box of warm air that you'd created.
Yes, that's right.
And you'd stay nice and snug.
And they actually have a top to them as well, don't
Canopy.
they? A canopy, or I saw the word tester, which is an actual wooden panel that lays flat atop the 4 posts. So it actually has a little roof. So it is entirely enclosed. It's not just you've got some curtains, but then the top is open. It is actually fully enclosed.
There are like small rooms.
Yeah, yeah. And I sort of think of 4 posters as being from everything from Ebenezer Scrooge in A Christmas Carol opening his curtains to see the various ghosts, right the way through to, I don't know, King Louis in The Three Musketeers lounging around on his 4 poster and all these things. I just think they're a fabulous item.
Yes.
I remember reading ages ago a fact which I think has been disproved, which was that the original idea of putting a canopy above a bed was to stop mouse droppings falling onto you from the rafters above. I think that's been disproved, but for ages I thought that was why 4 posters existed, to stop mice pooping in your open mouth as you slept.
Yes.
Maybe it helped in that respect as well, but like you say, it was a comfort and warmth thing. Other than 4 posters, in Shakespeare's time, I don't know why they seem to be so popular. Maybe we've just got to that point in history where everyone values their sleep a little bit more, but the sort of 1600s seem to have been quite an era for different types of beds, as well as the 4 poster we've mentioned. They had box beds, which kind of looked a bit like a coffin. Back in the days when your mattress was just a cloth bag stuffed with stuff, it sort of had a tendency to spill all over the place and not keep its shape very well. So they had box beds, which had 4 little walls to it to sort of contain the mattress and all the other bed linen.
One of the walls was a sliding door.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
So that you could step in and out easily?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Some beds were strung with rope. They sort of had rope crisscrossing across the bed frame to make a base. You had to tighten the ropes every now and then because they would become slack. Another expression, probably this isn't where it's from, but I choose to believe it anyway, is the expression sleep tight. You would sleep better if the ropes of your bed were tight.
Yeah.
I think it's been debunked, but I still like it. In Victorian London, there were places, I suppose sort of like homeless shelters, called coffin houses. And you could hire a 4-penny coffin for the night. Not actually a coffin, but heck, they look like a coffin.
Yeah.
Very small rectangular box with a bit of a mattress thrown in it. And homeless folk could go and get a cheap night's sleep. Even poorer folk could get something called a twopenny hangover, which was essentially a big, long communal bench with a rope sort of tied from each end of the room above it. And you would sit on the bench and you would sort of drape your arms over the rope and it would sort of suspend you by the armpits. And you would pay 2 pennies for this. It was called the 2-penny hangover. There is a suggestion, again, who knows, that's where we get hangover from, because someone might have spent all their money on having a night out and the only thing they could afford was a hangover.
But the hangover was the expensive option. There was also a penny sit-up.
Oh, was there?
Yes.
Even cheaper?
Even cheaper. Before that, people would hold court, like royalty would hold court from bed.
Oh, yes, of course.
And there would be, the consummation of marriages would be witnessed in the bed by several courtiers who would sort of go, yes, they're at it.
Making sure they've done it.
Yes, that's fine. The closer you were to the personal life of the monarch, the more power you were next to, and you could exert influence.
Yes.
So there's that in it as well.
Yes.
This idea of the bed, the so and so of the bed chamber.
Yeah.
Beds, dangerous places though.
Are they? You're gonna astound me with some kind of figure of how many millions of people die in their beds each year, aren't you?
Well, no, loads of people die, but people used to hang knives above a baby's cradle to ward off evil.
That Huh?
Like a mobile.
That seems counterintuitive.
You think? Well, the thing is
Well.
that Christians used to believe that they were very vulnerable from spiritual attack
Yes, of
as they
course.
slept. There's all sort of stories about, the devil's powers being at their peak during the hours of darkness. And
Yeah.
the Bible's full of examples of people being murdered in the night while asleep.
Right.
So there was a load of bedtime rituals.
Yeah.
People used to have charms and amulets
Yes.
made from coral,
Okay.
which was thought to preserve life. And they would also wear wolves' teeth around their necks at night,
Oh.
and all sorts of things. And so the knives above the baby's cribs would be iron, and
Right.
iron being something which wards off evil.
Okay. Well, let's hope they're tied on pretty firmly, because that could
Yes.
have the opposite effect.
Yes. So beds made of what?
Wood?
Well, they started off being made of wood, didn't they? But then the Victorians decided that wood wasn't good enough.
Did they? Oh, metal.
And they started to make them. So until about the 19th century, all beds were made of wood, pretty much.
Yeah.
But then you get to the 1860s, and people started to become aware of health
Okay.
and hygiene, and realised that just a wooden frame on the floor probably wasn't going to cut it. So they started to make these iron beds and iron bedsteads,
Right.
which had a raised mattress which raised you off the floor.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
And they were sort of easy to clean and more hygienic. The aforementioned brass bedstead that
Yes,
we
of
had.
course.
But there's lots of other materials that one could make beds from.
Such as
Air.
air.
Well, you know what Airbnb stands for, don't you?
Well, air, bed, and breakfast.
Yes, so air beds. Have you ever slept on an air bed?
I have. Yeah. Yeah.
They're not very comfortable, are they?
They're not the best thing in the world. Again, it doesn't help when you're taller than the airbed in question. They're okay in an emergency, I suppose.
I had one which was fairly old, and the compartments that I was sleeping on started to part. The glue came apart.
Oh, no.
So it's like there's this massive bang. And eventually we were sleeping like hanging onto the sides of a balloon,
Oh, dear.
which wasn't fun.
Oh, what a great way to wake up.
But I've slept on beds made of all sorts. I've slept on a bed made of water.
I was just about to say, how about waterbeds? Have you seem like the sort of guy who might have slept on a waterbed or two in your time?
Yeah, absolutely. I had a waterbed back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very nice, actually. Really comfortable. Because
Is it?
what you do is it doesn't make any slushing noises because you get all the air out of it.
Yeah.
And also there's a heating element at the bottom of it.
Oh,
So
really?
the water is actually warm.
Oh, I didn't realise that.
So it's lovely. It's like sort of just lay there and it just be floating.
Yeah. Brilliant. I've never tried one.
It's lovely. So we talked about the Victorians. Dickens.
Mm-hmm.
Dickens had several houses. He was quite wealthy.
Hmm.
And all of his beds were aligned north to south.
Oh, really?
He liked sleeping north to south.
Ah. To be in tune with the Earth's magnetic field.
I think he was just a bit eccentric.
Sounds like Dickens.
Yeah. And the other fact I found, which I thought was quite interesting, and I don't know whether this would apply to you, is that the majority of men sleep on the door side of the bed.
Yeah, you're right. I did. Now, I wonder if that's a... Well, I'll speak from personal experience. I used to sleep on the door side of the bed on the
Yes.
basis that my wife would prefer me to be the first person to get attacked if an attacker were to come into our bedroom. Which is, fine.
So beds come in all sorts of fantastic shapes and sizes now as well. I mean, I've seen like magnetically levitating beds.
Oh, have you? Nice.
They cost thousands and thousands. I mean, you'd have to be a millionaire to have it.
Yeah.
But this guy spent years inventing the maglev bed.
Oh, that's brilliant.
There are other beds which are sort of inflatable and circular, and
Yeah.
ones shaped like the yin and yang sign. And
You get heart-shaped ones in
yes,
tacky romantic hotels in America.
oh yes, and vibrating ones.
Oh, naturally, yes. There's one
You
of
see
those
in motels. They're
Yeah.
coin-operated vibrating beds.
That's it.
In motels.
I think there's one in one of the Superman movies, isn't there?
There could well be.
Brilliant.
And there are beds that go into walls as well. So there are
the flippy-uppy things.
yes. So there are some that flippy up, and there are some that actually go sort of like level into the wall.
Oh, really?
designers seem to enjoy looking at how to make beds work.
Yes, yeah.
And, there's one, there's loads of storage underneath where you lift up the mattress and there's a whole storage area underneath.
Yeah. You get beds with built-in speakers and a TV that sort of rises out of the foot end of the bed.
Yeah, and then of course during wartime when you have to take shelter in a bunker.
Yes.
The bed that you have in a bunker is called a bunk bed.
No, a bunk bed comes from a bunker.
Yes.
If I take nothing else with me from today's episode, that's my favourite fact. Brilliant.
So normally, Simon, at this time of the show, you would give me some records about whatever the subject is that we're talking about.
Yes.
I'm assuming you have bed
I do have
records.
a few.
Do you have this one, the biggest bed?
Oh, I have. Now, I love it when we both go for the same record because quite frequently we have totally different numbers. So go on, what's your world's largest bed?
Okay, mine's Dutch from 2011.
Yep, same one. Go for it.
Okay, so that one's 86 feet 11 inches long.
Yes.
And 53 feet 11 inches wide.
Yes. I can't even... how would... What?
I mean, what constitutes a bed?
Oh.
I mean, that's a house to me.
Yes. I suppose it's a raised platform, possibly with some soft coverings that is specifically intended for the purpose of laying.
Have you seen this bed?
I've seen a picture of it, yeah. It's quite big.
What other records do you have for us?
I've got the fastest time to make a bed.
They have competitions, don't they? Hotels have competitions.
That's right. Yes, that's exactly what this is. Yeah.
And actually, that's changed the way that I put my pillows inside pillowcases.
Oh, really? Has it? It's actually changed your method?
Yes.
That's brilliant.
Because in that speed making the bed thing, they fold the pillows in half sideways.
Right. And then
sort of slip them in much more easily.
Brilliant. Very nice.
So I now do that.
Oh, it's always good to have a little cheat, isn't it?
So what is the record?
So this was exactly one of these competitions. This was a Chinese gentleman named Chow Ka-Fai, and he was from the Cordis Hotel Group. And in 2018, he entered one of these competitions, and he made a king-size bed in 1 minute and 9 seconds.
With hospital corners and everything?
Yep, proper hotel-looking bed.
Wow.
The last record I have is the largest number of people crammed onto a single bed.
Okay.
Have a guess.
Is it like the Great Bed of Ware? Or is it just a normal...
single bed.
Single bed.
Average standard size single bed.
So what's that, 3 foot wide by 6 foot long?
Yeah, give or take.
And are they all on top of each other or are they just side by side?
I'll let your imagination run wild on that one.
Okay, well, I'm going to assume they're on top of each other.
Go for it.
So I would assume that would probably be about 30 people.
Pretty close, 54. And this is definitely worth putting a video on the blog for. So this was in 2013, and they sort of lattice these people in between each other. So there's a group of people who lay sideways on the single bed, and then another group of people lay in between them, and then a group of people stand on the bed in between them. And then other people are sort of woven in between the people who are standing. And it sort of ends up... Do you remember stickle bricks?
Yes.
It ends up looking a bit like a stickle brick made of people. So you sort of have this tower of 54 people upon this single bed. All smiling and laughing and enjoying themselves.
How about the ones at the bottom?
Oh, I bet the ones at the bottom are, crushed.
Wow.
But there you go. 54 people on a single bed.
Well, that's me tucked in, I think.
Yes, I think all my bed facts have been made.
Very good. They are fascinating things, though, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, very interesting.
We do lots of stuff about fascinating things, even if they don't sound fascinating to start with.
That's what we're here for.
So if you want to hear more of them, then please subscribe to the channel.
Yes, please do.
Because we come up with a new one every week.
Yep. And in between the new ones each week, you can go back and listen to all the other 80-odd that are already there at Factoraly.com.
80?
Yeah.
We've done 80 of these.
It's going well.
Crazy.
And Once you've liked and subscribed, please go forth and share this podcast with all of your nerdy friends who would be equally intrigued to listen.
Yep. I mean, they may benefit from your review of this podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, or even if you didn't, leave us a 5-star review, please.
That would be splendid. Thank you very much. So that's it for another episode. Thank you for coming along. Please come again next time for another fun-filled instalment of
Factoraly.
Bye for now.
Au revoir.